Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we're making a slimline card. Why? Because I'm nothing if not behind the trends, right? I'm never trendy, but this is a thing. I love the way they look, and I talked about them in one of our Made It Con classes, and what I said was, they're perfect for making scenes, and that's what we're gonna do. So we need to cut our card down. Now, I'm cutting mine to 9 1/4, so I'm gonna cut 9 1/4 here by 7 1/2. Now let me talk to you about this size for a second. I'm making my card to fit in a standard number 10 envelope, okay? Now you're gonna see online, other people are making cards with different dimensions, the slimline cards, and a lot of that has to do with like die sets that are being created for them right now, maybe some custom envelopes, things like that. But I'm making mine to fit in one that's just the regular old number 10 envelope, and that's the size that works for me. So you might want to pay attention to that. If you have a different size envelope, you might want to change the size of your base to fit. Now for scoring this guy, I'm going to score him in half with it in my scoreboard on the 7 1/2 inch side. So I'm going to score him in half at 3 3/4. So I'm just going to run down here and score it a few times. And then fold it over. And I like to fold it in my scoreboard because it helps me to push the paper up flush against one side. And then I can crease this down with my bone folder. And that is going to be my card base. I'm going to be using one of our new stamp sets today called Gnome for the holidays. And I want to do all of these images. This is how I'm going to make a little scene. So I'm not really worried about where I'm placing them on this white. I'm going to be coloring them, but I want to stamp them all. And so I'm just going to use my Misty to help me do that so I can do it kind of in one fell swoop. So I got them all loaded up and I'm ready to ink. I'm using Memento, and this is going to be a process because I have so many stamps on here, and sometimes your ink pads are not super flat. You're going to have to take your time inking these guys up. I will probably have to stamp them a couple of times. And I'll show you something else. If you have another piece of white and you put behind here, it'll help you to see where you're inking because it kind of blends into my background. That's mucho better. Now I can see what I'm doing. These lines are very thin lines on the stamps, so it'll pick up the ink pretty good, but I may need to do a multiple inking, and that'll be fine. All right, just make sure my cardstock is in the corner. Let's send this over. Okay, I am going to do that again. Some turned out well, but I missed some stuff right here, so I'm going to do it one more time. There we go. I did that 3 times just to be real sure. I could go ahead and do the other side. Let's do that. Because of the way I laid them out, now I can get 2 layers, remember? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to stamp these guys, and then we'll get back together for coloring. So now to color, I'm going to use my Nuvo markers, and I'm just going to play and have a good time. I'll let you guys watch me. I'll turn on some music for you, and we're just going to color away. So here's a tip for coloring. When you have a lot to color like this, it can be a little overwhelming, but don't let it be. Here's what you do. Anytime you can do the same color, you know, like I'm doing these trees in the same base color, I'm going to go ahead and run through and do that. And then if there's anything else where you can do the same color throughout, do that before you start making decisions on individual colors. I cannot tell you how therapeutic coloring is. I am not a person who really turns on any sound or anything when I'm doing this kind of stuff. I just like the quiet of the room, and it's really quiet. I'm here early today at work, and it's really quiet, and like just the scratching of the marker on the page, and I can hear the clock ticking. It's very peaceful. That may be too much for some people. They might be like, I need some noise, but for me, it's very peaceful. Just enjoying the process. So I'm about ready to start cutting these, but I want to give you another tip. Do you notice how when I color, I lay my markers out and leave them out on the table? I don't put them up every time. I have these little holders, but the reason I don't is because if I want to use another color again, as long as I have them pulled out, I know I've used that color. But if I put them away, sometimes I forget which ones I've used. Okay, time to fussy cut. Now, you notice I cut that other one off. I decided I wanted to use this one because I didn't love the pink on the house. I felt like it just didn't match, so I'm going to cut all of these little guys out. Now, let me talk to you about something. I always talk to you about fussy cutting. I'm just going to say real quick, don't be afraid of your scissors, and don't worry if they're not perfect. When this card is over with, you won't notice all my cut imperfections, and that's not even that important. Now, you can use your scan and cut machine and all that stuff, and I may use that on that other little piece. I don't know when I go to use it, but since I'm at my work surface, sometimes I'd rather just pick up my scissors and go to town. I love technology, and I love what my scan and cut does, but sometimes I feel like, today I don't want to mess with that. I just want to do this myself. Notice that I started with what I think will be the hardest thing to cut. That's another thing. I just go ahead and start with the most detailed image, which it's not bad anyway. It was, just that. But I always try to start with like the most detailed image because I feel like I'm fresher. And here's another tip. Cut it away from the page. Give yourself less to have to hold in your hand. And just move that paper right in around your scissors. And if there's any showing, if there's any white showing, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that too. I know you probably think that took forever, but it didn't. It is not that hard. And if you could see how poor my fussy cutting is, let's bring it up close. Look how poor it is. But you're not going to know. Look, I even missed a spot on his little toe right there. It's not a big deal. You're not going to know when it's all done. All right, let's work on our card background. So I want to save a little cardstock, and let me tell you what I'm going to do here. Instead of cutting a mat piece to fit here that is 9 by 3.5, I decided to do one that's 8.5 by 3. And here's why. Regular cardstock is 8.5 inches wide, right? So rather than have to cut a whole piece of cardstock down to get me this piece, I'm just going to end up having almost a 1/2 of an inch all the way around the card. It's really about like 3/8 by the time it's done. But to me, that's a better way to save cardstock than cut a whole other sheet just to get this mat. So because we spent so much time on our images for the front of the card, I'm going to give myself a break on the background. It's still going to be cute, but it's going to be easy. So I'm going to take my Pink and Main blending brush and some Broken China Distress Oxide ink. And I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to ink this up. Oh, that'll be beautiful. It's nice and rich. And I might want to start off here first just to see what I'm looking like, okay? And what I'm going to do is make the sky. So I'm going to go a little more than halfway down the page. But I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. So here's my sky. Look how easy and fast this is. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to tell you, on camera, it always looks lighter than in person. So I'm actually doing this a little heavier than what you can see on camera. And what I love about the blending brush is if you hold it super light and just let it do its thing across the page, you really get kind of this cloud effect. Do you see that? It's so hard to see on camera, but it is gorgeous. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blending brush and my really dirty cloth that I use at my work surface, and I'm going to wipe off as much of that blue as I can get off. I'm not too stressed about it. The color I'm going to use next is green, so it'll be fine, but I just want to wipe some of that off. Close this guy up. I'm going to wipe off my little blending mat here too. I don't want to get this everywhere, and I know me, I'll put my hand in it. So there's that. And now I'm going to bring over some Mowed Lawn. Isn't that appropriate? So some Mowed Lawn, some green, and we're going to do the bottom. Again, I'm going to start over here first, just like so. And then I'm just going to lightly go across the bottom. And this is going to create the grass, or the feel or the look of the grass. I mean, honestly, how stinking easy is that, right? That is easy. I'm going to go a little higher. For camera, it's so crazy. In person, I really like it, but in camera, I have to go a little darker for you guys to be able to see it. But I love how that looks. And look, if you wanted to do like some little hillsides, you could come in higher in an area and then, you know, lower in some areas. So, because we're going to be like placing them around on the card as if they're standing at different heights. So that's a good tip too. All right, so let me clean this off and we're ready to move on. Now let's bring our little guys over. Now I didn't do anything around the edges of these guys. I didn't use a marker or anything. I'm just gonna let them be. But if you want to, you can just take like a Sharpie or an alcohol marker and just very carefully run around the edge of all your images and just clean that up if you don't like how the white looks. I don't think it's gonna make any difference on this particular card. I don't know, maybe it will now that I laid it down there. I don't know. I don't think it will. Yep, I'm gonna do it. I tried to get away with it. Do y'all ever do that? You ever try to skip a step? I should not have shown you. If I hadn't have shown you, I probably could have skipped it. But all I'm doing is running the marker around the edge. Now, here's the thing you want to remember. Don't go from the front of your card or your image, because if you do, you're bound to slip and draw on it. If you go from the back like this, if you slip, it'll slip on the back of the page and it won't matter. Now let's place these guys around. I like that little house like that. And I think I want a tree over here. And that shading kind of lands perfect for that. And I think this little guy is going to be here. And then he's got his little like apron on. He looks like he's working in the workshop. So he's going to go with the house. But I'm not sure which side I want him on. Maybe this side. And then I think I'll put another little tree up here kind of high. And this little guy who looks like he's just super happy and maybe jumping. Something like that. That looks cute. I don't know. Maybe I'll move the house out further and bring him to the inside. Like he's waiting on somebody to show up. Isn't that cute? I love how that looks. So that's where these guys are going to live. But I think I'm going to pop them all up on some foam. And I'm going to start with the little house. I'm going to place it down first. I feel like that'll be a good starting point. I nearly forgot my little packages. I had to dig them out of the trash because I just wiped my desk off into the trash and that's where they went. But these little packages are going to go in his little hand right here. Like, how did I do that? I don't know. I just did. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to put my sentiment, and this is the one I want. I want sending cozy winter wishes to your gnome this holiday season. So I think I'm just going to stamp it straight down on there. I may be sad to do that in a minute, but for now, I think that's what I want to do. So let me get a block. You're like, why would you be sad? Well, I should have stamped this before now. So if you're going to mimic this card, you might want to do this before this point. Or I should put it on something else because I could mess the whole thing up. I'm just being brave, y'all. I'm being brave. Now, I've not used this stamp. This is fresh off of the stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp it off real quick just first, just to kind of get it going. This is what they call seasoning a stamp. This is how I season a stamp. I will just, see, that's perfect. The third time will be perfect. I just ink it up a few times before I use it and let some of the ink sink into the porousness of the stamps, because photopolymer stamps are porous. And so sometimes we need to fill up that little porousness. Now, there's 1,000 ways to season a stamp. This is just the way I do it. See me shaking? Because that's what I do. I'm a shaker. Now, I'm going to let this sit here. I'm not rocking it or wiggling it. I'm just letting it sit and letting that ink transfer so I'll get a good stamped image. That's cute. I like that right there. All right, now let's see what we want to do on our card base. So I'm going to use some Barn Door and my other blending brush. I have a couple of blending brushes because you can clean them in between and that makes it really nice. So I'm going to use some Barn Door. And this is where I'll probably be sad, but I'm going to ink the edges of my card base. I like how it really makes the edges just pop like they're highlighted almost. Now let's bring this little guy over. Oh yeah, that really helps to make it pop, doesn't it? That's cute. I like that a lot. So I'm going to pop this guy up as well. I probably shouldn't because I have so much to mention on here already, but I think he'll be cute. So let me get some foam tape. Just a little bit of Scotty. Actually, that's a lot. If you're going to use these slimline cards, might use up your Scotty pretty fast. I could cut this down and do it in strips. I probably should have, but I just did some full-size ones. So I'm going to try something. I think this will be cute, and it's kind of different, but I like the little stripiness on their little legs. So I think I'm going to take this baker's twine and kind of let it mimic the ground. I don't really know how else to say that, but I'm going to put some glue behind my little house right here. Just a dot of glue. And don't worry, your art glitter glue will dry clear and matte. So I'm just going to stick this right behind here to get my little hillside started. And what I'm going to do is let it run right under their feet. So I'm just going to glue that into place. I'm going to let that one end stick really good first. So I got one end in, and then I'm going to put a little dot under his feet and grab it under there. I just think this will be cute, and it'll bring some more black and white and kind of that whimsy look to the card. So let that one go there. And then I'm just going to let the twine kind of curl and go to his feet. And so I'm going to put a dot here to hold it here. And then a dot under his feet to hold it there. So let that roll up into the glue. All right, and then I'm going to put a dot in this area to kind of hold it here. I've not done this before, but look, it's kind of cute. I don't know, it looks like a tightrope too, but I don't know. I just thought it needed a little something to kind of create like a horizon line to give them something to stand on. You could always draw a line, or you could always shadow a line in, you know, put a little piece of mask off area and then use your blending brush to shadow it in. That'd be cute too. But I just thought this was something different. Who knows, maybe their ground is baker's twine looking, right? All right, and then I'm going to put a little on the edge just to hold that down. And I'm going to cut this off even here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to finish it off on this side as well. Yep, it needed that little line. And now I think my last touch, this is really a Make a Fuss card, I'm going to put some glitter. Decided against glitter, decided to use crystal glaze. Let's put a little shine. That's what I'll do instead. So wherever there's white, I'm going to shine it with my glaze. And I see something that I missed, and I bet you guys are yelling at me. I didn't color their noses. I just saw that. So I'm going to put this down, give it a second to get a little tacky skin on it, and then I'm going to come back and hit those noses with my alcohol marker. I don't know how I missed them, but I totally missed their little noses. Anywhere there's glass, I'm going to put the little shimmer on it as well. And maybe they're little hearts. So because my trees are just kind of hanging here in the top, just kind of floating, I decided to come in with my white pen and do what would look like kind of like a little snowbank underneath them. Nothing serious, just a little something to just land them a little bit. So just a little snowbank. You may not even be able to see it on camera. I'll bring it up and see if you can, but you can definitely see it in person. See that little bit of snow there? So that'll make them look like they have a place to live. But that is my first slimline card this year. Matter of fact, it's my first in a really long time. I haven't made one in a long time, but I can see why they're super fun and perfect for scene cards. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have so much Christmas coming to you, so much. And like this video if you enjoyed it. Also, if you make one of these, you know I want to see it. So head to our customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com and share with me your slimline cards. I'd love to get inspiration from you. If you need inspiration, there's more than 2,000 inspiration photos over there. It's kind of like our very own Pinterest. So again, it's at maymaymadeit.com and it's in our customer gallery. Hey, thanks so much for being here today. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.